This is Fork, Marry, Kill, the podcast that forces you to make life or death decisions about food. We propose the ideal version of 3 foods and ask you to fork, marry, or kill. Fork, 24 hours of gluttony. Marry, a lifetime of pleasure. Kill, you'll never eat it again. We're excited. Let's do this. Welcome back. Very nice to see y'all.
Hi. Hey, glad to be here, as always.
Everyone, I'm Allison. I'm here with Brandon and Marley as per usual. And we have an awesome guest this week. We're very excited about. This has been a long time in the making. We've been trying to schedule this for quite some time. And I believe we are definitely in at least 3 different time zones right now. It might be 4. I think it might be 4. We'll find out. But yeah, this took some finagling, but I think it's going to be more than worthwhile. I'm very excited to welcome special guest Madison Rudin to the podcast. Hi, Madison.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome. So Madison, I'm going to just kind of sing your praises for a second. Madison is a Toronto-based artist. She's a recent graduate of OCAD University in the drawing and painting program. She is a self-proclaimed grocery store fanatic. And I'm obsessed with her work. Basically, you're looking at this whole sort of range of foods that you might find in the grocery store that have been turned into artwork with paint, plaster, polymer, clay, etc. So it feels like a perfect fit for what we're doing here at Fork, Marry, Kill, a perfect marriage of, form and food. So yeah, very excited to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. I know this has been long awaited, but definitely love podcasts. I listen to them while I'm in studio all the time. So it's definitely nice to finally be on one that I listen to all the time.
And we love that someone listens to this podcast who isn't a family member of ours. So
there's only so many people we know and or are related to. So.
Right.
Exactly. Maybe you'll start a trend of people who are not directly related to us. Yeah.
I'll try my very hardest.
Yeah, spread the word in Canada for us. Thank you. Wait, so am I right? Are we on 4 time zones? Is Toronto the same time zone as New York, or?
Yes.
It is. Okay, so it's 3.
It is.
3 times.
That's still pretty respectable.
I mean, it's still tri-coastal.
It is tri-coastal.
In groovy California, where it's 2:17 p.m. here.
Wow, hang 10, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a hard stop for my B12 shot, so if anything screams California.
And then you're going to get your IV drip after that.
Mm-hmm. We can't keep talking about this.
You gotta stay hydrated.
We'll literally faint.
I will pass out. Yeah, you'll have to take me to the oxygen bar, and there are none of those in Paris where I am. So yeah, it's 11:17 p.m. for me. I think for Brandon, it's what, 5:17?
Yeah, 5:15-ish.
And for you, Madison, yeah. So yeah, everyone now knows the time on this pre-recorded podcast that you're listening to. Anyway, well, so Madison, okay, I want to just quickly talk about your work. I have anyone who knows me. So, okay, before I got into food, I actually worked in art galleries in New York. I was a curator, gallery director. I was an artist for a little while myself. And then I moved into food, and I really have such a soft spot for food-centric art, especially sculptural things. And all of my art is in storage right now because I, just am sort of in the midst of moving across the ocean. But as Marley and Brandon can attest, so much of the art in my home is basically food that, is turned into crochet or other kinds of sculpture. And so when I saw your account, I sort of flipped my shit and was really excited that someone whose art I would already be so into actually already knew about our podcast. So can you tell us a little bit about how you sort of started on this path and what led you to this direction?
For sure. I mean, my work for me at its simplest form is about connection between food and feelings. And I was listening to one of your other podcasts, and I think it was Marley who talked about this, but my mom growing up ran a very health conscious household. So I always would go to friend's house, and then there became this deprivation mentality of, okay, I'm at a friend's house and my friend has a pantry full of food that I'm never really allowed to eat, or it's a weekend food, or it's a treat. Treat was a big word, like, oh, that's a treat. So my last year of OCAD during my thesis, before this body of work was making very abstract work. And I say now that it just wasn't feeding my soul, which is kind of like a pun because my work now does literally and figuratively feed me, although you still cannot eat it. So I create these nostalgic food fantasies that are all based off a lot of the food that I really wanted as a kid and still crave now, but never really ate or ate in very small, rare quantities. And I recently started incorporating rhinestones and glitter into my work because I wanted them to feel like they are in my head. Like I want these objects to feel like these outward, fantastical objects that were so craved, but not really eaten ever. But moving from that abstract space, everybody at OCAD thought I was nuts. A lot of my profs, because I was in a drawing and painting program, I was primarily switching from painting to sculpture. I still do make some paintings, but I said, I'm going down to mold making and I'm making a mold of a LaCroix can and a Coke bottle. And my thesis advisor was like, are you for sure that that's something that you want to do? And I said, why, yes, it is. And I marched down there to the mold making studio and they didn't really want to help me, a drawing and painting student. And I made a mold and I came to my midterm critique for thesis and my advisor was like, oh, wait, you did it. You said you were going to do it. I maybe thought you were joking, but you did it. And I did my thesis body of work was called Fridges, Shelves, and Shit. I don't know if we're allowed to curse on this podcast.
You're fine.
Girl.
But yeah, so it was basically creating nostalgic shelf and fridge fantasies and removing the brand logo was my thesis. So I was speaking about pop culture and consumerism and brand tribes and how these big brands and box names create these tribes of people that are only they only eat or drink that one brand, like a Coke or a Pepsi. People are either team Coke or they're team Pepsi. Or like, I love LaCroix and I tend not to branch out from that. Although
that comes across in your Instagram.
In your most recent body of work.
Yeah.
Yes.
My Instagram is just a LaCroix fan page and I'm still waiting for the sponsorship.
It's going to happen. It's going to come. Also,
listening.
yeah, I mean, LaCroix, if you're listening, we'd love it too. Let's have like a really cool joint sponsorship of, this podcast, Madison's art, like, what are you doing?
Some merch.
Oh my God, I would love
multimedia.
Some merch. Absolutely.
Well, because the best thing about them is that their entire social media is free. Like all the content that they get from their social media is free because they comment on my work all the time and ask if they can repost my work. And of course I say yes, because I am so infatuated and I'm an artist. And sometimes we have to do things for the, in quotations, exposure, which is my least favorite word of all time. And I'm sure many other artists would agree. But yeah, that's what they do. They just comment and they get free publicity, essentially.
Yeah, word of mouth advertising is the most powerful form of advertising, really, because, people believe your friends.
Right.
Chewy once sent me a message like the pet store, and I thought it was like the greatest thing ever. Like they didn't give me anything. They just were like, cute cat. And I was like, I know, right? Thanks, Chewy.
That's the first step for Ava to become viral. I'm still convinced it's going to happen. I don't know if you've seen Marley's cat, Madison, and listeners.
I'm not sure why you would. I must look.
Yeah. If a toothless cat who always sleeps with her tongue out can't find fame in this world, then I'm not sure who could.
Right? Yeah, seriously.
Have to find your niche for sure.
Yeah. Everyone's a brand these days. But yeah, I mean, I one of the things that I really love about your work though is, and I think this is sort of, you were getting to this a little bit, it's obviously like really recognizable objects and brands, and there is a realism to it. It is obviously like not an abstract work, but it is still very painterly and feels very like handmade. And it's not like going for photorealism, it's not trying to be like a perfect simulacrum of the object that it's, based on. And I think that like taking something that is so manufactured and so mass produced, and I think like that has such a big role in our psyches, especially as children, like going back to what you were saying about sort of walking through the grocery store and seeing like aisle after aisle of like cereal boxes and sodas and like treats. Like, so, yeah, I mean, I was like about to nod my head off when you were talking about that, because that is 100% like my childhood experience of like not being allowed to eat any of those things and just like binging at friends' houses. And, but there's something about, everything being shiny and perfect and like these sort of perfect uniform replicas of each other, and then taking that and making it feel very one-off, very, unique and handmade and sort of human, that I think is really cool and really beautiful. So yeah, also we haven't said it, and we will obviously link it in the show notes, but Madison's Instagram is MadisonRudin_art. So you should go look for that maybe while you're listening to this. And yeah, you can just click the link wherever you're listening from. Well, I think that our FMKs today are going to yield a lot further discussion. So unless anyone else has anything else they want to talk about before we get to it, I feel like we should just dive in.
But before we get to that...
Hey y'all, I wanted to tell you about Food 52's newest podcast, Either Side Eaters, co-hosted by cross-Atlantic friends Katie Quinn and former guest of the pod, Jen Penamrat. Now, you might know Katie and Jen from their YouTube videos. They're two creators endlessly curious about the intersections of food, culture, and identity. And now they've teamed up to bring you weekly deep dives that will change how you see your food and world around you. Katie and Jen tackle the tricky, pricklier topics that go hand in hand with studying food, like how using the word ethnic can limit understanding, and how mango con chile was born out of colonization. But they also discuss WWE star John Cena's surprising contribution to the chili crisp trend, the correlation between chicken earlobes and eggshell color, and oh yes, plenty of eggplant emoji jokes. Either Side Eaters is out now. Find it wherever you listen.
Now, back to the show. Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So, Madison, I don't know if you've heard any of our season 2 episodes yet, but we have introduced a new feature this season. Normally we use it as like a kind of lifeline thing where if you're stuck, you can spin the wheel of subs and pick a replacement. However, for your episode, we felt like this should really just be the thing that we do for like to really randomize this experience. So essentially, because so much of your work features LaCroix sparkling water, we wanted to do a whole LaCroix themed FMK, but rather than hand selecting the 3 flavors, we put in all of the core flavors into this wheel, and we're going to spin it and randomize the 3 that we choose. So we don't even know what it's going to be, which is exciting. I'm
As
very
Marley
excited.
sips a LaCroix.
I kept almost picking this up to drink it, but I was like, no, can't give away the
Don't
secret.
spoil it.
So now that the secret's out, I can drink it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Whoa.
so I just shared my screen on this Zoom, so you guys should all be able to see.
Oh, yes. The massive wheel is before us.
Woo! And you should be able to hear it too. So, okay, we're going to spin for the first one. Here we go.
This is terrifying. don't know.
No
who's gonna
pressure.
kill.
Yes.
Oh,
Coconut.
Yes.
All right. Very exciting.
Number
I'm very,
one.
very, very happy that one made it in. Okay. So I'm going to remove that and I'm going to spin again.
Oh, boo.
Yes.
I feel like that's a good contender. It landed on pure.
Yes. It landed on pure, aka
Pure.
unflavored.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. That
Plain
is so
Jane
funny.
seltzer.
I'm just already so happy about this. Okay. Last one. Last but not least. Okay. A classic. We've got lemon. All right.
Let's repeat those one time.
Yeah. All right, Madison, you spun the wheel. You saw how it went. We've got fork, marry, or kill. LaCroix. Gosh, I keep wanting to say La Croix, but I'm not going to.
Ugh, I hate when people say that.
I mean, it's really everything I can do. Okay. LaCroix coconut. Pure, depending on how you say that word. Or lemon.
Or
Dun, dun,
lemon,
dun.
depending on how you say that.
Lemon.
Oh. Well, it's actually very easy for me. Surprisingly, I was
Really?
very nervous because, well, 3 of the flavors on there were LaCroix's newest flavors, which are the beach plum, guava San Paulo, and the black raspberry, which are not available in Canada yet. Please, for the love of God, LaCroix, I'm begging.
Oh my God. We'll leak
Begging
this to
and
them.
pleading. Thank you. And limoncello and pastique, which is the watermelon flavor. I don't know why they wouldn't just name it watermelon.
Well, they have to be
are like
French.
2 of my favorites right now. The best is that they're from like Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
They're the least French company you ever did see. But like maybe 6 months ago, my friends and I all went to my cottage and we bought every flavor available of LaCroix that's available in Canada. And we did a taste test of everyone. So we each tried a little bit of everyone and we ranked them all 1 to 10.
How many were there? Can we pull up the wheel and just shout out the ones on the wheel? And did you
yeah.
try all of those?
Yeah.
Like, is it
There
a
was-
bunch or?
13, and since then, limoncello and pastique have been brought here, and hibiscus.
Nice.
So those were not on the list. There is a story highlight on my Instagram called, I think it's called Taste Tests, and mine and all of my friends, like rank lists are on there 1 to, I think they're 1 to 13. Pure wasn't on there because I was like, it's just not a flavor. What would it be?
I mean, we are going to get into it
Well,
later.
yeah, I actually almost didn't put it on the wheel, but then, something, you'll see what happened. But I'm going to share, I'll share my screen again so we can look at the flavors that are on here and have a little,
Yeah, what else?
chat.
We got lime. Yeah, we had the beach plum, black raspberry, guava Sao Paulo. It's limoncello. The watermelon, hibiscus, and they're upside down now, but key lime, tangerine.
You should be able to
passion
see the
fruit,
list on the right too. Where I
mango.
typed in.
That's, oh yeah, not as fun though.
Cheating, sorry.
Apricot, raspberry, berry, peach, pear, pamplemousse, orange, and lime.
It's quite a list.
So
Yeah.
Raz Cranberry is my least favorite of all time ever.
Oh.
Yeah, real boring.
It's the most hated flavor. So that's why I'm nervous about black raspberry, because I don't like raspberry flavored things. And it just has a weird taste. But in terms of my F, Marry, Kill, I have to kill Pure.
You're killing it.
Saw that
I'm
coming.
sorry to say. I have to. It's just plain. Like I don't think there would be any difference between a plain, like a pure LaCroix and a plain flavored Perrier or any other. And there's a reason why companies like Bubbly don't have a pure flavor,
Right.
because it just wouldn't sell. And Pepsi, I guess, knows what's best. And I'm going to have a F night with lemon because I crave it every once in a while, but I know I can never not live without my one true love, coconut LaCroix. There's something about that banana boat sunscreen flavor that I just love.
Totally.
That it makes it 10 times more appealing. The fact that it tastes like sunscreen, I don't know why, but it's good.
So you don't like
And-
things that taste like raspberry, but you love sunscreen flavors. For the record.
Not saying anything I've ever once said has any form of logic.
I think it's like art flavor, though, because it just taps directly into your nostalgia of like being on a beach or using that sunscreen. Like, it knows what it's doing.
And if you mix the coconut with the lime, it's
Ooh,
delectable.
you put the lime in the coconut.
Really, really good.
There's a
If
song
you put the
about
lime
that.
in the coconut and you mix it all up,
We're gonna have to dub that in, Brandy. Just saying. Just saying.
it's necessary. But yeah, I think my favorite flavor of all time ever right now is the watermelon, which is weird.
Yeah, I'm
It's good.
surprised.
But it's good.
I haven't tried it.
It has a nostalgic flavor for me, and I still to this day cannot pinpoint it. And I don't know. My mom always, we used to go once a week to Taco Mac. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, but I've been back and forth. I was born in Toronto, and I moved to Atlanta for my dad's job. So a lot of American foods I'm very obsessed with, even though I am technically Canadian. But we used to go to Taco Mac once a week, and there was like a health food store or something like that, like a GNC or a vitamin store, something along those lines. And we were allowed to pick out our fruit leathers for the week.
Wow, your
Because we were
childhood
not
sounds
allowed-
so much like mine. It's uncanny. The amount of fruit leather I ate, I can't even. It's amazing. Okay, sorry.
But the best part is now, to this day, I crave fruit leathers, and I can't find them.
Oh, I love
they
a fruit
just-
leather.
They don't exist the same. But I so badly, and in my artist statement, I think I say this somewhere, like, it was hard to take part in lunchroom banter when everybody had Gushers and fruit by the foot, and I was sitting there with my peach fruit leather.
Or your carob covered raisins, or maybe you had,
Yes.
yeah, totally, like a baked apple that your mom made the night
Annie's,
before,
cheddar
yeah.
bunnies. Yeah. No, never goldfish. Annie's, cheddar bunnies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had weekend cereals. So like those little tiny boxes of cereals, my mom would buy those, and those were our weekend cereals. And then during the week, there was like multigrain Cheerios or Cracklin Oat Bran, which to this day is still my favorite cereal, I think.
Wow, you and
even
Marley
though-
both.
Hey, finally something we agree on.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
I tried a box. They are delicious. They are really good. They stay crispy.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah,
love
dude,
it.
That's the
like-
best part.
It's like sawdust. It's
It's
like
modeled.
fresh.
It's modeled after dog food. Allegedly.
Look and barely taste like dog food. Yeah.
Made for a dog, but tasty enough for a human.
That's the tagline right
Yeah.
there.
If you add some fresh blueberries into it, it's an added little bonus. That was definitely something we did as kids. Right? I vaguely remember my mom always buying sugar-free creamsicles. I don't know why that's in my head, and I despise that so much. Or we drank Pedialyte often. I don't know why.
That's a sore.
Oh. That's
Best hangover cure.
It is,
Yeah, it is.
but I didn't I didn't discover that until I was like in my, early 20s, and I would keep the Pedialyte popsicles in my freezer for hangover remedy, which really was like amazing. But I never thought of those as like a health.
All right, we got to get back on track here. We got to get.
Sorry,
Sorry,
straight
our
liquid.
taskmaster
Sorry,
is,
sorry.
cracking the whip over here. Okay, well, okay.
Marley, Allison, yeah, you guys are in on this.
Oh,
What do you got?
I'm all in. I feel like I know mine, so I can go if
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine's
okay.
mine's more controversial, so it should come
Yeah, maybe we
later.
should save yours for last. Marley.
Yeah, Marley's last. Okay.
She's marrying Pierre.
I mean, yeah.
She
I could not be more
100% is.
clear about it.
Yeah.
But, so
Spoiler
yes.
alert. Yeah. Yeah, I actually am doing exactly the same thing as Madison. I will say I do not have the same strong aversion or issue with the pure flavor of LaCroix. I'm totally fine with. I love an unflavored seltzer. In fact, most of the time I drink an unflavored seltzer. Like I'm a purist in a way when it comes to that. And I will say I do think there's a difference between like a carbonated canned seltzer and something like a Perrier, I think just like the intensity of carbonation is different. So like, you know, and you may or may not like that, but I feel like I'm in France now where like all of the bubbly water is like, you know, Perrier or Badois or like any of these. And I like them, but the intensity of the carbonation is much less than like, you know, the SodaStream seltzer I was making at home or the cans of Polar that I was buying. So yeah, I do like it, but I think if I'm going to have, you know, a one night stand kind of situation, I would like something a little bit more interesting than like a vanilla. Although I will say my favorite seltzer, LaCroix doesn't make it, but my hands down favorite seltzer is vanilla seltzer. Ideally the one from Polar. It is like legit the best flavored seltzer that you can get. Madison, I'm dying for you to try it because you're such an aficionado and I feel like I want your opinion. Marley's making all kinds of faces and I'm just ignoring them.
I never knew that an opinion could actually be wrong. So I'm learning something myself too.
Yeah, we don't have Polar here.
Oh, really?
They've got some good flavors.
They
some
do
good,
have
unique
really
flavors.
good flavors. I like they do a kind of like a Moscow Mule situation.
That's the one I was going to shout out.
It's really
Highly
good.
enjoyable.
Yeah, really, really good. And they also do one that's like, what is it? It's like pineapple. Is it pineapple hibiscus?
I haven't had that yet.
It's pineapple something or pineapple tangerine, something like that. It's very good. But the vanilla is my favorite. They also do an orange vanilla that's sort of a creamsicle vibe. Don't like it, but their classic vanilla. Howell's Seltzer, which is a New York brand, also does a vanilla, and that's very good as well. I have made my own DIY vanilla seltzer by just putting like a tiny splash of vanilla extract in a bottle of plain seltzer, and it does the job. It's not quite as good as the Polar, but like it gets me by. Anyway, I digress. But so yeah, I'm okay with the plain, but I want, for the one night, I want some flavor. I want something like exciting going on. I feel like lemon is just sort of like, you know, sassy enough. Or is it lemon or lime that we're doing? It doesn't matter.
Lemon.
It's the same.
Lemon.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
not the
It's
same
not the
at
same.
all.
No, you're right. It's not. But for this purpose, like I would take either one for the one night stand, I guess is what I mean. So yeah, I'll take the lemon for one night. And I am with you. I fucking love coconut LaCroix. Like it 100% tastes like drinking sunscreen. I fucking love it so much. Actually, I just had to pull this up because I had to remind myself of what the specs were. In 2016, on our summer cocktail menu at Butter and Scotch, I did a drink called the By Felipe that had Diplomatico rum, which is like this really delicious aged kind of sweet rum, like very, you know, very rich, kind of like got beautiful like caramel notes to it. Passion fruit, lemon, tiki bitters, and then it was served tall and topped with the coconut LaCroix. And it was such a pain in the ass because like we didn't have a distributor that sold LaCroix, and so we had to like legit like go to the store to buy it. And it was like that summer when everyone, I mean, it's all the time, but like there was like one year where it was just like everyone was losing their shit for LaCroix, and the coconut in particular was really hard to find. And I just remember us having to sort of stockpile it, but then I just kept drinking it. And anyway, it was a problem. Sometimes it was hard to keep that cocktail on the menu, but yes, I love it. It totally tastes like drinking Banana Boat, and I know it's wrong and I don't want to be right. So that's me.
Kind of your motto on the show.
Okay, well, I'm going to spend my F night with lemon. I think that's appropriate. I love the lemon. Limoncello is my favorite. Lemon is a close substitute to that. Gonna go with okay, here's where it gets tricky though. I'm going to kill the coconut. I do enjoy the coconut, and I respect the coconut. I think it is powerful. But I have to marry the pure. I think, like, just pure water is so good and refreshing. The pure seltzer just bubbles. I mean, yeah, I'm a purist, I guess. So I'll be marrying the pure and killing the coconut, sadly. That was a lot of fun, though. Yeah, I will say Coconut's good. Lemon's good. They're all good. I've become quite the addict. To be completely honest, I probably crack about 5 a day. So
Wow. All right.
And we were saying that like this is finally an episode where you have the insider knowledge, whereas Allison and I are just kind of fumbling through the dark, like having tried most of these flavors.
yeah, real talk. I mean, during quarantine and lockdown, it became like the treat I would try to get every week is go to the bodega, because it was like what I felt comfortable doing. It's like going a block out to the bodega on my corner and like seeing what variety of LaCroix they have that week, because it would change. Sometimes they would have this one, they'd have this really rare one that was like the key lime or something at the time.
Yes.
Or the limoncello was rare for a while. But yeah, it became like the little thing I would look forward to, and then it became an addiction, and now I have a couple cases in my fridge at all times. But yeah, it's they're great. Yeah.
Welcome to LaCroix Anonymous. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Brandon, can you just give us like some tasting notes on what you would say makes the difference between the limoncello and the lemon? Like
Oh, well, the vanilla for sure.
Oh, there's vanilla in the limoncello.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
basically like
I'd
a
like that.
creamsicle, but like vanilla, right? How would you describe it? Anybody else have it?
It kind of tastes like cake to me. Like it tastes like a dessert. The lemon is just straight lemon to
Right,
me.
exactly.
But the limoncello has like this additional sweetness to it that may come from a vanilla flavoring, but it tastes like you're eating lemon cake.
Yeah, it's good. It's different. It's nice. But I will say the new flavors are really rad too. A big fan of all the new ones.
I want
I've
to
had
try
them
the
all
guava.
recently.
That sounds great.
Yeah, the guava Sao Paulo one was delicious.
My friend just texted me that she found it at a convenience store by her house. And I said, please send me the address right now. The limoncello is hard to come by here too. Like we have to scour around the different Whole Foods to find one.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. There's like maybe 3 or 4 different spots in walking distance that have their own varieties. So like, you get the good stuff if you venture out to the farthest location. You could get a key lime perhaps, or a beach plum even.
So wait, on that note, I mean, similar question, lime versus key lime. I mean, key limes do have a different flavor than a regular lime. Is that the difference? Like, does it actually taste like key lime?
Yeah, it's good. I like the key lime a lot, for sure.
I really want to try the hibiscus too.
It's so good. It's weird.
It's pretty clean, pretty light flavored, but it's good.
Yeah, but it's not like the other light flavored LaCroix, like the orange and the berry and the ras cranberry that are just garbage.
Right, yeah.
Because they barely have a hint of flavor, but in a bad way. Like it just tastes like metal at the end. And
Yeah,
I
the
just
hibiscus is good. I like it.
don't stand.
Is it tart? Because that's the thing about hibiscus is it's naturally like really, it has like really nice acidity to it.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay. All right, Marley.
Well, I hate to shock you guys, but I'm going to kill Pure.
What?
Oh my God, you did shock me. What?
I'm glad you're sitting down.
Wow. I'm glad we're recording this Zoom because the look of astonishment, we're going to have to find that screenshot.
Well, and also, I'm really sorry, Madison, but it is taking everything in me to not keep calling it La Croix.
Me too.
And not because I'm like some pretentious asshole. I actually wasn't sure how it was pronounced. Maybe I'm also a pretentious asshole, but that's not the reason why I'm saying it. So if I slip up, please forgive me.
I accept that.
Thank you. Also, like Allison, most of the seltzer I drink is just plain. I am drinking this tangerine LaCroix. But when I actually asked, I'm staying with my sister right now, and I actually asked her if she had any plain to start. And so this was my consolation prize for them not having any plain. The reason that I'm not marrying plain, even though that is my favorite seltzer, is because I don't think the LaCroix seltzer plain is very good. Like,
it's not the best.
It's not the best. No, like my platonic ideal of a seltzer is a cold, plain polar seltzer. Like I don't think the LaCroix like has enough bubbles. Like I kind of want to be a little bit uncomfortable when I take that first sip. Like it's got to have that bite.
Is that more than vintage or less than vintage?
Ooh.
Oh, no. Sorry. Vintage. Yes, you're right.
Vintage is what you're saying. Yeah. Vintage is like the most extreme, I would
Yes.
say.
Vintage can plain very cold.
So good,
That is
so
my
good.
ideal.
God,
if
I'm
I could
so
just
That's
have
got a
some
bite.
never ending.
That's
Yes.
got a bite.
Yeah, I want that bite. Whereas like the LaCroix, it just kind of tastes like you left a Polar out overnight,
Yeah.
which is not my thing. So I'm sorry, I'm going to kill that. I'm not super into licking sunscreen, but I'm going to have an F night with the coconut just because you guys, the way you guys are describing it is wild. Like, I've got to try it.
Oh my God, you haven't even had it yet.
I've never, well, so that's like what is perfect for a sweet F night. Cause
Right.
like I'm
Right.
trying something new.
Strange. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting some
Just drink a
strange.
whole 12 pack in 24
Well,
hours.
we'll see. We'll see how the first one goes.
It's off-putting at first. I'm not going to lie. The
Oh
first
my
sip
God.
of
It's
coconut.
shocking. It's shocking.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
But then you keep going back, which I think is good. So,
Yeah, are there any rules about how much you have to consume to make it a sweet F night?
no,
totally up to you.
I think
Okay.
it's just you can say no at any time.
Yes, like Madison said at the top of this hour, consent is key. Well, I mean, that did give me a little pause, Brandon, but I'm going to continue with my choice. And I'm going to marry lemon. I also haven't had that. Like, I mean, obviously I've had a lemon seltzer before. I don't think I've had the lemon LaCroix one, though. So I will also have a vintage mistress. So
Nice.
that's how I will continue living my life.
Side piece. Yeah.
Yeah, that surprised me. Those words coming out of my mouth.
Surprised us all.
Such a good twist.
Wow, I can't believe you're going to have a brother-husband situation.
Oh, I can.
With
That's kind of my
vintage.
dream life.
They're
Usually
really-
Allison's the one making it weird and sexual. So
I know.
apparently
I
it's my
love.
turn today.
I love this. I love this change of dynamic here.
I mean, you know that I think I would make an excellent sister wife. Like, just like
you
no
would.
joke.
You would.
I think it would be like the best. I would be like really suited for it. We can talk about this in the after hours, FMK.
Our spin-off.
Okay.
FMK After Dark.
Oh gosh, that's like Big Brother has you can watch them after they stop filming. I don't even know what it's called.
Wait, do they
Brother After
not
Dark.
know they're filming?
I think it is called Big Brother After Dark.
I think
no, they
so.
know.
But it's
No, they know.
not
I think
after
they
they
do.
stop filming. They're still filming.
They're
Stop
filmed all the
filming.
time, right?
Yeah.
They're filmed constantly, but after it's done being televised, you can pay to watch Big Brother After Dark, which is them when
Oh, so it's like the OnlyFans.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Huh, CBS, interesting.
New tactics. All right. Everyone's
love
got to do
it.
what they got to do.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Madison, I know you have a surprise FMK that you brought for us, but we want to leave the massive listening audience in suspense. So we are going to wrap this episode up, and y'all just have to come back next week to hear what Madison has in store for the three of us. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. It was so great to meet you and like learn about your beautiful art and talk about the wide world of flavored carbonated beverages that are out there.
Thank you so much
yeah.
for having me.
And
Long awaited, but worth the wait.
oh my God, yeah, seriously, if all of you out there knew just how long this has been in the works. So until next time, you can find Madison on her Instagram at Madison Rudin. That's RUDIN_art. You can find us at Fork Marry Kill Pod, or you can send us an email at forkmarrykillpod@gmail.com. And you can give us a call and leave us a message on our hotline. We would love to hear from you. The number is 347-455-0226. Until next time, enjoy the sweet sounds of Lip Biter, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening. This has been a production.